Baltimore native. How did I come onto the scene? Sheer happenstance, man. Sheer happenstance. I ran into this girl. She said her name was Donita, and she wanted me to do her hip hop piece. I was like, I don't do hip hop. That's not what I do. I'm a ballet dancer. I do modern 5 days a week. That's not really what I do. She said, well, I think you'll be good. Just try it out. And at that same time, in the midst of starting that piece, I just began taking a class with Montel Durden of Mop Top. Big in the late 80s, early 90s, danced with NWA, a whole bunch of people. He introduced me to locking, and that was so different. And I laugh now thinking about it because my eyes lit up because I had a memory of when I was 7 years old. My dad had the old Beta VHS kind of deal. Yeah, y'all know nothing about that. You know what I mean? 80s baby, for real. And my dad, used to record all my Saturday cartoons. And one day he put in the wrong tape, and it was a Soul Train in the lockers. And I couldn't. I thought, wow, Daddy, I like that. They doing all the funny stuff and dropping on their knees, and the guy got the flamethrower, and I just thought it was cool, it was entertaining. And after that, I never saw it again. And until 2005, when I met Montel. So he got me into that. And from there, I did Donita's piece. And after I finished Donita's piece, they felt like I had what it took to be a good house dancer, because I saw Montel house dancing, and I just never seen anything like that. It was amazing. And I said, teach me how to do that. And he said, no, I'm not teaching house. That's not something you teach. It's a feeling. If you want to learn how to house, you have to go to the club, flat out. And I was like, okay. At the time I was 21, so I was able to go to the club.
Him saying no, and coming into what you are now, like teaching and traveling around the city, like what's your thought on him saying no to you now, as compared to then, when he said no?
When he first said no, I was kind of hurt, actually. I was like, why would you not want to teach me something like that? It's amazing. And he was like, it's just something I don't teach. But knowing now, I think that was a blessing in disguise. I felt like he knew how to work me, because he knew my curiosity was piqued. And he didn't want me to mimic, because in the classical dance world, that's what you're taught to do. You're taught to do the movement, but until you get it, you mimic it. And that's not what he wanted me to learn, was how to be like him. He wanted me to learn how to be like myself. And
you feel like people today and coming up, young housers or lockers, or just hip hop dancers in general, you think they try to mimic before they actually understand?
Oh, most definitely. That's nature. That's how it starts. But he wanted me to do it from a standpoint of where it originated, instead of in the classroom 5, 6, 7, 8. He didn't want me to be, this is what it has to be. He wanted me to feel it out and find it for myself. And that was more than appreciated, because if you really want it, you'll do whatever it takes to get it. You don't care what anybody says. And even still, as much as he didn't, I stood in the club for 6 months and never danced. I literally watched him and Donita dance. And, they would pull me out here and there, and I was kind of nervous because, at the time, it was them two, and then you had Face to Play, which is another well-noted all-styles crew here in Philly. And, they were getting it in. It was fierce, and they were competitive. And at that time, I was very insecure, because I came from a classical dance world. I literally walked in head first into something amazing. And I really wanted to take my time to understand it and really know what I was getting myself into, instead of just diving in head first and looking like every other Joe Schmo.
If you had any words to any young hip hopper, or locker, or popper, or houser, coming up and they were looking for inspiration, what would you say to them?
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. I came from knowing nothing to a lot in a short amount of time. I really didn't even start really getting into house until late 2007, early 2008. Here it is 2011, and I'm teaching a master class to Alvin Kelly Can't Steal It. If somebody who comes from nothing to something that quick, you can do the same thing. And I didn't really get into it until 23. Imagine if you started when you're 16, 11. The possibilities are endless. And just because it's not televised doesn't mean it's not respected. It's a one day at a time process, and nobody wake up Michael Jordan. They gotta put Michael Jordan had to put a blindfold on and shoot 3,000 shots in the dark every night to understand the feeling of shooting instead of the act of shooting. You know what I'm saying? So
deep.
Yeah. Just don't get caught up in what people say or what people think. It's not about what they think. It's about what you feel at the end of the day. Whatever you feel is right.
Dig it, man. Dig it. Any shout outs?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Shout outs to my fiance Donita Askew, dopest female in the world, man, hands down. Anybody can be there, whatever. Shout outs to my man Brian Newby, B-Boy Hannibal, 360 Flava, Rennie Harris Pure Movement, Philadelphians for facilitating Rennie Harris Pure Movement in hip hop in general, where I teach. Shout outs to New York, man. Mob Top, Elite Force overseas, Wanted Posse, people that are keeping it alive, man. Big shout outs to everybody that's keeping hip hop alive and raw instead of, tailored and polished for television. Big ups to LA. I see y'all coming up. Y'all want it just as bad as we do. And to all the people who support my workshop, man, Funky Soul Fundamentals, hands down, man. You all inspire me to keep going, yeah, to keep bringing back more into, and last but not least, to Jesus Christ, and God, my Lord and Savior, because through Him all things have been possible, and all things will remain possible. So, that's it to my shout outs. One step at a time, baby. I'm a JustSole, trying to be a JustSole, and dance with JustSole. So that's it. One love.